My name is James Williams Jr. and I want to talk to you guys about superhero TV shows and its isolated effects. Okay, no, not even really that. Me and a friend of mine, we were debating about some superheroes, and it's unknown facts that some superheroes, and specifically, some black superheroes um existed in the 30s, but no one really has acknowledged them. With the rise of DC's Black Lightning, I thought I'd take you guys back to a flashback of sorts to my youth, and the first black superhero that I was exposed to was Lothar from Defenders of the Earth. Now apparently Lothar is the sidekick of Mandrake the Magician. For those who don't know who Mandrake the Magician, for those who don't know who Mandrake the Magician is, you could probably Google him and you will find out that back in the 1930s, he came out in the era with Flash Gordon, the Phantom, Lothar, and Dick Tracy era. They were all started off on comic serials in newspapers and stuff like that, and then they kind of got big, and they were people are always talking about like Superman and them, and they leave off these heroes like the when Marvel bought the rights to these guys, they became Defenders of the Earth. Before that, they didn't have a team name, and they rarely crossed over. So like serials like Buck Rogers and Dick Tracy and them didn't really have a lot of people of color in them. But Mandrake the Magician did a lot of work in Asia, and he had a bodyguard who was black. Now Lothar doesn't really get a whole lot of comic villain because he's basically the sidekick bodyguard, the muscle of the group. So when Defenders of the Earth came out, they gave him a little bit more leeway in his life. He wasn't just a magician's assistant. He wasn't just a bodyguard, and he was a father by the time they did that. Now, prior to that, the only person for sure that I know had children was the Phantom, because Kit Walker was a kid with his brother, and their daddy was the guy that the story kind of focused on. And it would go back and forth, but mostly Kit Walker was the Phantom, but it would go back and forth to where um, everything that Kit was taught, he would remember from his dad or some bullshit like that. And I'm probably telling it wrong, so you guys can fact check it or whatever. But Lothar is the focus of this video. In Defenders of the Earth, he's the bald black guy. Big guy, muscular. He pulls the rope at the end, and then the theme song is Out of the Sky. His rockets ignite, just into battle, flying faster than light. Flash Gordon, Lord of the Jungle, hero who stalks, the beast called on brother, the ghost who walks, Phantom, master of magic spells and illusions, the enemy crumble in fear and confusion, Mandrake, his strength is of legend, his skills conquer all cause his power we never will fall, Lothar, Defenders of the Earth. Come on, people. So, we were talking about black superheroes, and the main thing that we talked about is that there are a lot of them, but there weren't a lot of them, and the debate was like the Marvel DC black superheroes versus like everybody else, because Marvel and DC are the more popular comics. Dark Horse, Image, and them, they have black heroes, but they don't have like major league titles. Now Image, their black hero that has a major league title is Spawn, and that's Todd McFarlane's, and Al Simmons would be his name. But I brought up Lothar because I'm 44, and a lot of people don't remember Lothar, and I don't think he actually got his own serial because he was Mandrake's sidekick. So I brought that up because when Defenders of the Earth came out, it wasn't like the old school 30s Lothar, where he wore the African hat. You know that shit the Flintstones wore? I don't know the name of the damn hat. It's like a fucking cup. Not like the Jewish yarmulke, but that damn red, like, circle cap thing. I don't know what the fuck you call it. I'm not into hats. But anyway, Lothar is one of the first black superheroes, and they don't really have a lot of acknowledgement about him. And technically, from what I read on the thing, it said that he would be considered the Caribbean ninja. And it's like, but he was supposed to be black. So apparently, I'm mistaken. He is of color, He's not American black. And I could be wrong on that too. But I wanted to talk to you guys because, all right, I can point out maybe on my fingers and toes how many black heroes that DC and Marvel have amongst them. And Lothar's not amongst them until like 1985 when Marvel had bought the rights to those guys, so they got them. So, excluding Lothar, the black heroes that I know from Marvel: Night Thrasher, the original Dwayne Taylor; Rage, he's a 13-year-old boy who gets really big. Um, I can't think of the guy's name, but his alter identity is Chris Powers. He's a black dude. He wears a silver suit. It's not Shadowhawk, but it's something with Hawk in it. Um, let's see. War Machine, James Rhodes. I can't remember her name, but she's an Avenger. I want to say she's like Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel. She has an afro. She has a white shirt with a black star on it. Alpha Flight didn't really have any black people, which is kind of fucked up because they're Canadian. And then you have, let's see, you have Bishop for the X-Men. Roberto da Costa is not a black person. He is Brazilian and he is of Latin descent, which means he's mostly an Asian person. And then you had, that's pretty much it. Because Storm's from Africa or Egypt, so you can't really count her as black. You can count her as African, but you can't really count her as black. So that covers that. And then there are a couple of more, like the West Coast Avengers, but I can't remember who the hell they are, besides Rhodey. And then if you go into what the hell is the name of that team? You have Luke Cage because him and Power Man had a book together, and I'm pretty much sure that I can't remember the rest of them because everyone else is either white or from outer space. Now, for DC, you had, depending on how far you go back, because Black Bolt technically was Hanna-Barbera, he wasn't really there. So then you do have Black Lightning, who was their original first superhero. Then you have Green Lantern John Stewart, who is black. And then you have Warhawk, who's also half black and half Thanagarian, depending on if they actually still use him. Rex Stewart. Then you have the new Black Batman. I don't know his name, but he's there. He's in the comic books. He's not in the Terry McGinnis thing. Then you have Guardian and Spartan. That pretty much runs it. And the new Aqualad, because Aqualad used to be white, but now he's black. And then you have Queen Bee or Honey Bee or whatever the hell her name is. See, my Marvel is more up to date than my DC. But there are a handful of black superheroes. Just like there's a handful of Native American superheroes and supervillains. They have black villains, but I don't know who the hell they are because I don't really read comics that depict black people in a bad light. I left off Blade for Marvel, by the way, and I also left off damn it, I had his name until I brought up Blade. I left off the hell is his damn name? I can't think of his name. If it ever comes back, I'll do a report on it. And then for DC, I left off Static Shock. So you have a handful of them. So like I said, I can count them on my hands. I can't count them on my toes exactly, but I can count them on my hands. And each one is a whole different thing. So I'm gonna hit you guys up tomorrow. My name is James Williams Jr. Just come for Havoc number 2. Be seeing you.